Just a friendly reminder that the opinions expressed on this show are not worth a Canadian penny, so disregard anything you hear that might get anyone in trouble. And despite some of the great ideas you may hear, don't try them at home. Go to a friend's house instead.
It's time to get a gun. That's what I've been thinking. Well, I could afford one. And if I did just a little less drinking, time to put something between me and the sun. When the talking is over, it's time to get a gun.
Hello and welcome to episode 183 of Slamfire Radio for December 2nd, 2016. I'm one of your hosts, Kelly Lynn.
I'm Trevor.
Wow, that was the big pause. That was him frantically checking. Wait, who's next? Is it my turn to go next? I don't know who's next.
No, I was ready. I was looking at it, but she dropped the Kelly Lynn thing on me, and I'm like, can you not use the same name twice in a row for those of us with OCD?
Hey, Trevor.
Yeah, you're lucky I didn't get one of those. Instead, I just stopped and paused. And
last week you were jumping in. Now you're pausing.
Yeah, and then, of course, the editing software cuts out the pauses, so it looks like there is no pause, and I come off as an even bigger jerk.
I love that software.
Oh, man. Anyway, yeah, I'm Trevor. Hi, Kelly.
Hi.
Should we do a show now?
Mm-hmm.
Screw the other guys. They had their chance. Let's just go on, you and I.
All right. So, what you doing, guns?
Well, we got some other people here too.
No, we don't count, Adriel. We didn't get in time, so we're out.
Kelly's the lead host. She decided. You guys just kind of.
Matthew, hi. Who are you?
I don't know. I'm Matthew, I guess.
You're Matthew this week?
I guess.
Okay.
If you're Kelly Lynn, then what am I, Matthew James? Do I have to go with
guess.
your middle names now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trevor is my middle name. So.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Have you seen my birth certificate?
Yes.
No, you haven't.
Yes.
Trevor's
I know
my
your
middle
other name.
But Trevor's the middle one. Officially on my birth certificate, which I do not go by. And the funny story, so I go in to register my marriage license, right?
Sorry.
And now it was worse. I go in to register my marriage license, and she asks for my birth certificate. I show it to her. She looks at the name on the marriage license. She goes, well, you can't do that. Actually, I can. Well, no, you can't because it won't be legal. Here's the thing, miss. This is my marriage certificate. This is my money, and I'm going to pay to put on what I want. Yeah, but it might not be legal. Uh-huh. Work with me, lady. This is my way out. Turns out the whole thing wasn't legal after all. You get nothing.
What are you going to do?
Well, you're going to put the name on you want when you're paying for it.
That's right.
So I don't think that would stand up in court if she sued me for alimony. What can you do? Funnier my way.
That was a really long intro.
Yeah.
And you haven't even gone yet.
Yeah,
No.
you haven't.
Hey, I'm Adriel.
Hey, Adriel.
And that wraps it up. Well, thanks for listening, folks.
Yeah, we're done. All right.
Tune in next week for Trevor's rants. Rabbit holes.
Marriage licenses and maybe guns. Maybe.
Ginger beer, crazy glue up the nose. You just never know what's going to strike a memory with me.
No.
And we all know I don't have the filter to stop myself, so...
Matthew?
Yes?
What you doing, guns, this week, please?
I went...
Sorry.
I went over to Trevor's and shot some guns with him and Matt. And Muffin.
I heard.
Muffin came along, too, which was cool.
I forgot about Muffin being there.
Yeah. That did happen just last weekend, right?
That was a long time ago.
That wasn't 2 weekends ago. It was just last weekend.
The first 4 days after the weekend are the longest.
They really are. But it was fun. I mean, we shot some guns, and I continued. Well, the whole PAR debacle continues. No accuracy out of it yet.
No.
Yeah. No.
Oh, no. How much
Now,
different kinds of ammo did you try?
I tried everything.
Oh.
Yeah, all kinds of different stuff. We were getting, well, I don't know,
Can I jump in?
3 to 4 MOA. Yeah, Trev, you can jump in, of course.
No, it doesn't matter. It was you're saying how you tried everything, and I was just going to point out that you tried various loads of 55 because that's what the guy shot it with at the factory and produced this amazing target, so you didn't feel the need to do anything other than 55.
Well, what I meant by I tried everything, I meant different loads. It was all 55 grain projectiles, but I tried the Norinco bulk. I tried 5 different loads of varying weights of gunpowder. So I ran the gamut. Now here's the thing. When I got the rifle, the upper and lower were quite loose. And I didn't put an AccuWedge in it, but I did shim it. And when I sent it back, I took that off because I wanted to set it back to... Here's the thing. I don't think I've shot it without that shim in there yet. So that's out now. The shim is out. The play is back between the upper and lower. Everybody else online says that the play is there on theirs too, and they're getting fine accuracy. So I've taken the shim out. I'm taking it back to the range. I'm trying it without the shim. I can't see that making any difference at all, but I'm going to try it. I mean, it's a variable, right? So anyway, that's all I got. I mean, I'm gonna try that, and no accuracy still after taking the shim out. Like, at this point, I will have tried virtually everything because I have tried different weight projectiles as well with it. Yeah, I'll just sell it. I'll give the guy, whoever buys it, a heads up saying, "Hey, look, I'm not getting decent accuracy out of this thing, but heck of a fun rifle. So go ahead and buy it if you want it." I don't want to sell anybody a dud, but at the same time, I don't want it either if it's not going to be accurate.
Well, it's hard for you to come into a podcast, talk honestly about the gun, and then put up an ad and not be honest in the end. It's not like it's not like you're not going for full disclosure week after week. Yeah. So.
But, whatever. I also got to shoot Matt's Volquartz Infusion a bit more while I was there. I tried to get some cool footage of it being shot, but Trevor would not cooperate with me.
I'm sorry.
You should see the footage I have. It's just, I have like 5 minutes of just wasted Trevor standing and not shooting and putting the rifle down, swearing, "No, I don't want to shoot that." I'm like, just pull the trigger. I just want some footage. No, he couldn't. He wouldn't cooperate. That's like,
it was so awful. Like I should have just. I hated the rifle so much that I wouldn't even force myself to shoot it for the sake of Matthew's video. That's how pathetic and petty I was being. It was terrible. I couldn't look past my own hatred for the rifle long enough to help him get footage. And I do feel bad because I should have just I really wasn't thinking about the video. No, I was so.
Meanwhile, it's not. It was subtle. It's hard to tell that I was right there in your face with your camera.
Yeah. But that's how awful this rifle is.
Why do you hate it?
It was the most uncomfortable thing. Blocky, chunky. I couldn't get a good cheek weld. It was so uncomfortable to shoot. It was almost borderline painful.
Meanwhile, it fits me fairly well, and I have no issues with it. Comfort-wise, it's not the most comfortable rifle in the world, but it's comfortable enough. It's just as comfortable as any other rifle I've shot. I find it to have a decent cheek weld. It is chunky. It's big and blocky, but whatever, it is what it is. It was accurate.
Oh my God, it's ever accurate. But it was like I had an aversion to it. I literally put it down, looked at him and said, "I don't want to shoot this. Don't make me shoot this." It's like you were giving me a vaccine that I was afraid of needles or something. It was, don't make me do it. It was awful. Not just the rifle, just my complete and utter aversion to it. I've never encountered a firearm like that where
Yes, you have. I've seen you give the same treatment to one of those Tokarev pistols. Somebody handed you one, and then you wiped your hands off on your pants when you put it down. You're like, I don't even want residue of this on me.
That's true. I'm not right.
But I had a lot of fun shooting it, and I think Matt did too. And like I said, we got some really good results accuracy-wise out of that. Way under an inch at 50 yards with just blazer ammo. It's an accurate rifle. I like it for that, for sure. Trigger on it is really nice. But I still don't have all the footage I need to finish my video, so I'll be heading back to the range again to finish up.
Friend is a jerk.
Yeah, he kind of is, but that's okay. I'll take another one of my friends who likes being in my videos and does good work in my videos.
I enjoy your videos.
Yeah.
Sorry. I said I was sorry.
Anyhow, that's all I did. Just shot some guns with Trev and Matt and Muffin and had some fun, and I guess that brings us to Trevor and what he did.
Well, did the same, obviously, and it was a lot of fun. Highlights from my weekend, I got a load developed for my .30-06. I finally picked up some 165 grain projectiles. I got the Hornady SST bullets with a canalure, and wanted to work with 40-64. Came up with, I think max charge is 52.5, and at 52, I was getting sub-MOA groups out of that rifle, and Matthew was there. He can attest to it. He was the one that was like covering 5 shots with his thumb and was like, no, dude, this is, you're good. You're sub-MOA. So that's awesome. I got a whole bunch of brass prepped, some with turn necks, some without. So I've got some put aside to do a comparison to see if I actually get an increase in accuracy with the turned necks. Otherwise, whatever it is, I want the most accurate ammo I can. But you know, unless it's significant, I'm not going to go through the tedious chore of turning the necks on ammunition for a hunting rifle. So the brass is ready, and I'm going to load a whole pile up and then go, I don't know, shoot a box or so, fire form the brass, and then load that box up, and that'll be the box that I use if I go hunting, let's say. I helped Lorette mount 2 scopes. So he bought a target rifle, and he bought a hunting rifle, and he bought a couple of Vortex optics and some rings. So he brought all of that with him, and we used my Wheeler Engineering level kit with the scope,
which
lab
worked so well.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been satisfied with it. I don't know what I'm doing if I'm not, like, there's a level for the rifle that goes in the action on the bolt face, or the races that the bolt runs on, and you would think, okay, the action is level, but the level on the scope, make the 2 levels level, pick it up, it should be fine. Not one of us picks up a rifle after doing that and it says that the scope is straight.
No.
We all find it's always canted.
Yep.
So
and we all found it canted in the same direction, so it wasn't like it was our biases, and it was off by a significant amount. So
either the bench isn't level or
it doesn't make sense, because a bubble is going to be level no matter what orientation the bench is. So I mean, if the bubble's in the center, that means it's level. So the bubble was level, but the rifle wasn't level. So perhaps the rails, what'd you call them? The runners, the racers. Yeah, maybe they're not level. Maybe they're on different heights on either side. I don't know. But regardless, we could not get it to work right.
Yeah. I think out of all the times I've used that tool, I've only been satisfied once. Almost always end up just doing it by eye, holding the rifle up, shouldering it, and running the scope against like a straight edge in the room somewhere, and using it that way. Anyway, we lapped the rings for both of those rifles, and then went to the range, and he sighted them in, and he fire formed several boxes of brass, and then we took that brass back and we neck sized it and cleaned it all in my stainless steel tumbler. So he went home with a bunch of prepped. We trimmed it all. The only thing he needs to do is do the flash holes and the primer pockets, uniform them. Otherwise, it's fire formed and cleaned and neck sized and trimmed. So he's well on his way to having brass that's ready to go to reload for those. He's going to get into reloading. That's why he came up, not only to get the rings done, but to check out how to reload for rifle. So that was the first thing we did Friday night, was do a little crash course, Matthew and I, on how he what he needs, what he doesn't need, and stuff like that for reloading for rifle. And I'm glad Matthew was there for this one, because he knows that I've been fighting with my Thompson Center off and on for a long time. Sometimes it's good and accurate, and other times it's not accurate, and it hasn't been consistent. Well, I figured it out. Took the bipod off the rifle and shot at least MOA, right, Matthew?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So at least MOA with Winchester white box, which it has always liked, surprisingly, which is good, because I don't have to buy premium factory ammo to get good accuracy out of it. But now that I figured out the issue is, I'll go back to, I had developed a load for it with a 40 grain bullet, which I'm not really crazy about because it's kind of light, so it's not very good in the wind, but it was really accurate even with the bipod on there. So I can't wait to get back out and see what it's going to shoot like with that ammo without the bipod. And this is my last week off where I go back to work, and I've just been prepping brass like literally all day, except for taking a break to fletch up a dozen arrows, because archery's going to start up soon. And right before the show tonight, I bought a 1022. I'm not exactly sure.
You bought a 1022?
Yeah, a friend of mine got the rifle on trade for a bow that he sold. The guy gave him the 1022 and some cash. It's got a, it's all like the barrel is a heavy barrel, stainless, but the receiver and the synthetic stock are all camo dipped. So I'm not sure which model it is, but right now it's sitting in a wood, like a traditional 1022 wooden stock. So I got the rifle and the 2 stocks and a Bushnell scope of some sort. Nothing too high end. Still with the antlers on the cap. I can't remember which one it is. Nothing amazing. But anyway,
that's a loophole, I think.
No, it says
no. No, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so the fact that it says Bushnell is
that's one of those new Bushnell loopholes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Excellent. All right. Well,
you got a good scope there, man.
Yeah. So I'll sell that and keep the rifle. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
good call. So what are you going to do with this? What are you going to do with the 22?
Well, first thing I was going to do was toss the factory barrel in the trash and get a good barrel and then drop it in a Magpul stock. But since it's got a heavy barrel on it already, well, great. There's one less thing I have to buy. Whether or not I keep the goofy-looking camo receiver or strip it, I'm probably going to strip it and drop it inside a Magpul stock.
Why don't you? Oh, is there what's this Magpul stock you speak of? Is it like an AR lookalike thing, or
that girl that girl that we podcast with?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got one in hers, and she's posted pictures of it. And
I don't look at pictures.
Her boyfriend got one. And,
I thought you had like a Boyd's stock on yours, Kelly.
No, I have Magpul Hunter X22.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
It is amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Tell you what I won't do. I won't drill a hole in the back of my receiver to facilitate.
There's nothing wrong with doing that.
I know. I'm just being a...
Oh, that stock. Yeah, so it's going to look kind of like your Mossberg 500.
Yeah.
So you're happy with the ergonomics of that?
Yep.
Okay.
And, well, that being said, I've never held it, but, I mean, I like that grip angle, so to speak.
Okay.
They make it for the 700 as well. Just...
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, so...
And you can change it with new, the cheek risers and all that, and the buttstock. Mm-hmm. Add to it, subtract from it. It's really cool.
Yep.
That's cool.
Hey, I wanted to ask you, Matt was supposed to help you out with your trigger.
We couldn't get the gun apart.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I offered with the sledgehammer, and they're like, no. I was like, whatever. You don't want my help? Fine.
He was there for us. Like, he was totally there for it. Bottle of whiskey in one hand, sledgehammer in the other. I'll fix it.
That sounds like me.
Yeah, it was totally you, yeah. The first thing you have to do to disassemble the stock 3 is remove one half of the safety. It's got an ambi safety. And to punch that pin out requires a pretty staunch, stiff punch. And I've got a cheap set of roll pin punches from... Princess Auto, and it immediately started to fold. So I talked to the guys at Freedom Ventures today, and they use a better quality set of roll pin punches from Brownells. So I will get on the old Brownells website there shortly and pick up a better quality set of. Actually, I think Muffin has a set of roll pin punches from Brownells because he bought a whole AR Armorer's kit.
Hey, when you do that, use the link from the website so we get a little bit of money back.
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably do it from somebody else's podcast just to, just like I donate to myself. So that's all I got. What about you there, Adriel? You kill anything this week?
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, I went. So I got my deer on the last show, but so the deer was done, and I went out and shot a grouse in the face with a Savage 6A 22. No, I did. I mean, if you're going to go grouse hunting with a 22, you got to shoot him in the head because you don't want to put a body shot in and ruin all that meat they're going after, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like I literally cut the head off of one last time I was out. He stuck his head up nice and high, and I shot just underneath his chin and detached the head from the body completely.
They have chins?
Well, what's that face or his beak called?
A waddle.
Oh, well.
I don't got much of a waddle, but yeah, I got one of those and ate it, and mostly ate it. Yeah, mostly did processing of game. So we took those deer, my deer, a couple of my buddies' deer, and we turned them into a ton of sausages and jerky. So we got all that stuff made up.
You know, you could mail me jerky when you mail me that Shot Saver. Or
I've got 2 of them on my desk right now. The Shot Savers, the Match Savers there.
Yep.
I'll throw some jerky in there. I'll wait until Monday because it's going to be real cold here, so it'll stand a better chance of like really freezing and then making it out to you.
But it's jerky, isn't it shelf stable?
Oh, I like my jerky a little bit softer. I don't like really hard and crispy.
Leather.
I like it a little, yeah.
That's the way I like it too.
Softer. Yeah.
I don't like it soft. Oh wait, which way did you say? Yeah, phrasing. Sorry about that.
We like our jerky tender.
I don't like my jerky tender. I like it. I like
Leather?
it.
Leathery?
Yeah, I like the leather.
Well,
like
if you're gonna like, I don't know, go out in the wilderness and like survive for a couple weeks, the leathery stuff is better. It won't go bad.
That's right.
But the soft stuff, like, it's not like eating a steak, but it's like it's a lot closer than eating like a leathery style jerky. So I do the softer stuff and I freeze it.
Oh, okay. Well, that's all right then. I mean, it's your jerky. Do whatever you want.
I accidentally did some up that was way too dry and it just crumbled. That was a little bit too far. But I also make some sausage with sheep intestine and cheddar cheese and jalapeno, and it is so good. It's so good. Like, you have to freeze it because it's got cheese in there. But as you slice it up, it's got these little gooey bits, and it's got that pop from the jalapeno. So, anyways, this is not gun related.
It's food related though.
Yeah, I fired 1 round from my 30-06. Oh yeah, so I fired 1 round from my 30-06, and now it's for sale. So I guess I studied it in. I fired 20 rounds from my 30-06, and now it's for sale because I shot it. So
why are you selling it?
Well, why am I selling any of my guns? I buy guns and I review them and I sell them.
Yeah, okay, I guess. Don't you want to keep a hunting rifle, or do you have one?
Well, no. I mean, I'll get a hunting rifle for next year. I mean, the Tikka was new as of August.
Yeah, I got you. Kind of like what I do with bows. I get a new bow every year. You shoot it, and give it back, and get another one.
Yep. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Cool. If I had a store that I could work out a deal like that, I'd just do that. I wouldn't buy sell. I would just like trade out and like this Tikka still got the stickers on it. Looks good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you want to talk about that photo that's circulating around the internet of you from that?
You're famous.
Oh, now I'll have to put the link in the show notes.
Because that was the best screen capture I've ever seen. Like, you got a Duber face on there, like you licked the gun and it didn't taste the way you expected or something.
So what Trevor's describing is there's like a quiz out there that you use to see how much you know about guns, and the first
90% of the population can't identify all 50 of these firearms.
Yeah, did you see what the otthe choices were though? It's the correct one, and then it's like howitzer, GAU-8. You know.
Well, the first one, it's a Glock 17, but you got to select Glock 19.
That's right.
Answer.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Adriel's beautiful face is question number 4. They took a screenshot of one of his videos and asked you to identify the shotgun in his hands. and the look. Yeah.
It's a derp face.
Mid video.
Yeah.
Mid-stroke, more like it.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yep.
Anyways. Yeah, so I've got a bunch of guns for sale if anyone wants to buy them. I got a Savage 10TR and an MDT HS3 chassis with a skeletonized buttstock. I got a Tikka T3 that I shot a deer with in the face. I got a Brennan 96 Brigadier Inox and 40 Smith & Wesson XDM and 45 and a Sam and 45 ACP. That's all I'll say about that. I'm going to buy Spectre Ballistics is this guy in Edmonton here who I've talked to a couple of times. He's bringing in these brakes, stainless with a knit right finish on them for $50. So I'm going to try one of those. I've been using a Michelin brake, which there's nothing wrong with the Michelin brake. The thing I don't really like about it is it uses a jam nut instead of a brain fart for a second there.
The washer that goes between it's called a crush washer.
Crush washer. Jeez, holy, like that just left my mind for a second. Yeah, instead of a crush washer.
You probably had the same look on your face while trying to think of the term as you did in the photo.
Probably.
Adriel's strokey face.
Yeah. But the Michelin brake is good. It's cheap. It's $45. It's effective. but I don't like the jam nut on it. It's designed for an older style of AR that had two different, I believe, thread lengths on them. So this is good for either one. But these days, everything just uses the crush washer. So I want to run one of those, run a crush washer, and hopefully it's lighter than this one. I don't know. It's $50. Who cares? And that's about it for me.
Send me a PM with your price for your Enox.
Okay.
All
yeah,
right.
we'll do.
Cool.
Yeah, that's it for me. Kelly?
So Saturday, I went out to SFRC. It's what I do on Saturdays. But they had their Black Friday sales. So I bought a gun.
What?
Yeah, I did.
What'd you buy?
I bought...
Oh, right, yes.
I remember what it is. I was asking for the listeners because, whatever, because they don't know. They're not in our private Facebook feed.
I realized that, but I literally forgot what she bought. And
I see.
Yeah, and then I looked at the notes and I remembered the joke I made.
That's right.
What joke was that?
It was
About
dumb.
shooting German youth or something.
Oh, yeah.
Well, in fairness, Matthew, most of my jokes are. So.
Hey, the first step is understanding and acknowledgement and it's acceptance.
It's the
Wait,
second
that's the last
step
step.
of caring that I can't get to.
Yeah.
Carry on, Kelly.
So I bought it's called a Deutschwerk Model 1. It's the German youth model that they had made from, I think it was 1921 to 1936. So it's a 22, and it's a single shot, and it has a funny lift top action on it. It's pretty cool, actually. It's tiny.
Is that the one where you kind of pull back and then the whole sort of top half of the action lifts
that's
up?
a Luger. That's a Luger. That's the other famous German gun.
They really like those top flippy actions.
They do. But anyways, so I got one of them. My brother had one, and I really liked his. So they had it there, and it was brand new. Somebody brought it in, and they had it for $125. And somebody priced it wrong. It was supposed to be $225. And then they gave me the discount on top of it. So I got it with taxes in for $120.
Wow, you got the Nolan Ryan discount.
I know, eh? Anyways.
You actually get that reference?
Yes.
I don't.
I don't think Kelly does either, but for the sake of moving on, she's saying yes. Nolan Ryan rookie card, $1,100, and a kid at a card shop sold it for $11. Decimal points matter.
Whoops.
The Nolan Ryan discount.
Yeah. Do you know who Nolan Ryan is? I'm just wondering, too.
Wasn't he the first guy on the moon or something?
Yeah, that's why he's got a
Yeah, that's what I thought.
one of the best pitchers of all time.
Yeah.
He had a really good picture on his card, is that what you're saying?
And he went to the moon.
Yeah, he threw baseballs on the moon. Oh, my God.
All right.
Where is this going?
Nowhere fast. Biggest
So the other, I'm going to just proceed.
Just plow right on through. Just keep right on going.
So the other thing I did was we finally went to the range again on Sunday. It was nice out, but it was a little cold. Shot some pistol. Had some fun shooting some pistols that I don't normally shoot. I shot Kevin's Norenko Colt. It's a
Colt Woodsman clone.
Sorry?
Colt Woodsman clone.
Colt Woodsman's clone.
I used to have one of those.
Okay. Anyways, I shot it.
They're pretty cool. They're hard to take apart, though.
I may have got ahead of myself. You said it was a Norenko clone of...
A SIG P226.
Oh, yeah, it's an MP34.
That's not a Colt clone.
No, it's not.
That's an MP34. Those are cool. Owen used to have one of those. I used to have the... no, it's an MP22. I used to have the MP34, which is the 229.
Let Kelly finish up here.
Oh.
Okay, go ahead. Just, you're good.
Which one did you shoot?
She shot the P226.
Right.
You had two smoking groups that you posted.
So the P226 was everything, 10 shots all in a row, all touching. They were probably, I don't know, quarter size, right?
How far away from the target were you?
10.
10
feet?
10,
No, not feet. Yards.
Yeah.
Well, that's impressive. Good shooting.
Damn straight. I mean, this was a group that you or I would push to get, man. This is a serious group. I'm a little intimidated now. I'm not gonna lie.
And I also shot his M&P VTAC as well. So that one, I had a couple that were not on center, just refocused, and yeah, all 8 of them were all touching.
Cool.
Sweet.
So my Glock, not as good, but that's okay. And
Well, the single action of a, I mean, it's going to be better than the trigger pull in your Glock anyway. But
Yeah. And those VTEC M&Ps are like,
Very
Snuffleupagus has one. It's one of the most accurate handguns I've ever fired.
I like the sights on them.
The sights are good. The apex trigger is good.
Yep. And I only shot 15 rounds to my rifle just to make sure I confirmed the zero after cleaning it, and it was good. So I really enjoyed the pistol part of it, though. It was good.
With groups like that, I would imagine.
We also signed up for the Active Killer Defense course that's going to be happening on Sunday, so I'm going to be going to that. Rick Woods is putting it on. Guess who else is going?
Active Killer Defense Sunday. You and Kevin and
and Brian.
And Brian Bolivar?
Yeah, he's going too.
Oh, excellent.
So we're going to go and hang out a little bit.
Lucky.
I know. You guys aren't here, so
I know. I'd love to take one of Rick's classes.
it'd be good. The other thing that I did was I worked on a couple of calendars. So we finished up the Canadian Coalition for Firearms Rights Gunny Girl calendar is now officially on sale. It's being printed as we speak. And if you go to the CCFR website and go on to the store, it's in there and you can pre-order it. It'll be delivered in time for Christmas. So go and buy it because there's some amazing ladies in it and it's quite beautiful. The other calendar that I worked on is the Slamfire calendar for next year. It's not as beautiful and it needs a little bit of work, but I'm going to work on it.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, so I disagree with you.
Kelly, I mean, I hate you. It's really, I'm just going to come out and say it. I'm not even going to beat around the bush. Like, I just want you to know that I hate you.
I thought it was amazing. You guys looked pretty good in a pair of Speedos.
No, our poorly photoshopped
well.
faces on the Korean dive team looked good.
I tried printing it at work. It didn't print very well, so that part could be improved. But
well, we still have to get Matthew in there and a couple of me as well. I'm not. So if anybody's interested, please let me know. I'll be having them out in January. All right, so we're coming into upcoming events. Just like I was saying a few seconds ago, Active Killer Defense is happening on Sunday, December 4th in London, Ontario. Our friend Rick Woods from Fire Art Solutions Training is putting that on. I think there's still spaces for people to sign up. So if you do want to sign up for it, go to activekillerdefense.com or to fireartsolutions.ca. You can sign up there. It's $150, but if you are a teacher, you get it for free and come on out and you can actually wrestle with me on Sunday.
Huh.
I'd pay $150 for that.
huh.
Especially after what you did with the CCFR calendar. I would definitely pay $150.
No, the Slamfire calendar.
Yeah, sorry, the Slamfire calendar, yeah.
All right. The next one that's coming up is the 7th annual Canadian Podcasters Charity Shoot that's going to be happening on Saturday, July 8th, 2017. It's going to be at the Guelph Rod and Gun Club. We really do need to confirm that, but that's what we're saying right now in Guelph, Ontario. The Canadian Patriot podcast is putting it on this year, and the charity of choice is Many to One. So if you have any questions, go and message Andrew at Canadian Patriot Podcast about that, and we'll have more information when that becomes available as well. The next event is Got Your Six charity shoots, the second annual precision rifle competition. It's on July 22nd and 23rd in Edson, Alberta. Funds raised go towards the Warhorse Awareness Foundation as well, and you can check them out at www.gotyoursixshoot.com. Woohoo! And if you have any events, let us know and we'll put them on here and we'll chat them up as well. So news. Who put all these stories in?
Well, I got the first one. Super excited. CZ, very popular firearms manufacturer in Canada. They make all kinds of pistols. And, of course, they make a couple of rifles that we like so much, both hunting rifles and sporting rifles. They're in the pistol world, most notably known for the CZ75, the pistol that some people claim is the most carried pistol by law enforcement in the world. Very, very popular over in Europe, of course. They also make such IPSC pistols as the CZ SPO1 Shadow, and introduced this year the SPO, or I don't think they're calling it the SPO1, or the newest version is the Shadow 2, which is just a sweet, sweet IPSC gun. So it's a souped-up version of their regular CZ75. They also make some polymer-framed but hammer-fired pistols, which I really like, the P07 and the P09. Well, they finally did it. They've warmed my heart by introducing the new P10, which is a striker-fired duty gun from CZ. Out of the box, it's going to have ambidextrous controls, a polymer frame with 3 back straps, and what else can I tell you about it? It's
pretty much all the same stuff, except they're claiming that the trigger is going to be not garbage, like all the other polymer striker-fired pistols.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, pretty much. You're right, Adriel. I mean, almost all the newest polymer striker-fired pistols have a low bore axis, have ambi controls. This one uses the same mag as the P09, I believe, and there's an awesome review on it and video on the firearms blog. And of course, everybody.
Military Arms channel has the YouTube video, and they're the guys that had exclusive first little bit with it. So I think that they actually went to the Czech Republic to shoot this gun and shoot this video. So they've got a decent video on it.
They do, and you're right. That's one of the things that they talk about the most is how they actually say that it puts the Walther PPQ trigger to shame. So we're seeing duty guns with competition triggers hitting the market more and more, I think, is what's happening. The days of the Glock stapler trigger are certainly gone. So I will have one of these. I was going to get the Walther after sometime in the new year, but I think I will wait and pick one of these up because I love CZ pistols. I was going to get a P09, but hammer fired, right? So
P10 is one better.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm really looking forward to that. So check that out on the MAC channel, Military Arms channel, to see that video.
I've got the next one here. This is you remember I mentioned last week that there was this sound moderators. There was guys who are working to legalize suppressors here in Canada. I finally found the link. It's soundmoderatorscanada.ca. I'll throw the link into the show notes. Long story short, it's an organization trying to legalize suppressors here. So it's an important part of PPE for everyone out there who's shooting. And I think that for hunters, like when I took that shot at that doe, my ears were ringing for maybe like a minute or two afterwards. And that's permanent hearing damage. And I'd much rather take that shot with a suppressor on and not suffer that hearing damage just because I want to go out and get hunting.
Yep, absolutely. You're right. When you hear that ring, that's the sound of a hair cell dying. And they don't grow back. And when you lose enough hair cells, you lose hearing. So definitely a safety device. There's no reason why we shouldn't be allowed to have it.
Yeah, it's really disappointing too because as I've been getting older, I've been getting like hairier and hairier ears. You think that they would just grow back my hearing?
No,
it's not.
No, that's how it works. I think you nailed it.
Science.
No, it's like all the other hair on men. It migrates, right? It goes from your head to your back. It goes from your inner ear to your outer ear. That's a natural progression.
All right. Who has the next one?
We had mentioned, again, I think we had mentioned this not last week, but the week before, that there's this cool bullpup shotgun coming in. I finally got some details on it. It's called the UNG-12. It may be coming in through Wolverine or through Tactical Imports. I'm not quite sure. They've both got a little bit of information on it. But it's a really cool looking space gun, kind of a shotgun. It's again like any other bullpup. There, you're reloading your mags up into your armpit, and there's some pros and cons to it, but it definitely looks cool. And I believe it still doesn't have an FRT. Wolverine Supplies had placed one in for an FRT, so we're probably still a ways away from these things being legal here in Canada. But they definitely look cool.
It does look very cool. It actually reminds me a little bit of I want to say, because of the way the front is made, like it looks a little PS90. Are you seeing this?
PS9,
or am I using too much?
I was thinking like an FS2000.
That's it, FS2000. I confused those two.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has a little FS 2000 quality to it.
Well, that foregrip is like, definitely FS 2000. It
Yeah.
looks kind of like a boat at the front.
It does. It does. Yeah.
Pretty sleek, pretty cool looking.
It's right out of like the new Total Recall movie where they what gun did they use there that they made all look space agey? The one that used to be in 45. Anyway, pistol, carbine. Total Recall, the new one. Anybody?
Nope.
Why would you
Bueller?
watch the new one? The old one was good enough.
Yeah.
I watched it. I just can't remember.
That certainly applies to Red Dawn for sure. Anyway, this thing looks space age. It's out of Aliens or something. I don't like the color here. It's almost like the Walt yellow with black.
It's space agey. It's cool. It's not another black gun. How many more black guns can we possibly have, right?
As many as possible.
I'm sure it comes in black too.
Good. All right.
So who also put in the T97 Gen 2?
Oh, I just saw that one today. So that one came up on. You guys have Android phones, right? So you get those the Google Now where it shows you like, well, you're interested in Norinco, so here's this thing, and it threw this guy up here for me. Now I had thought I'd heard that North Silva was gonna bring in some modded T97s like a Gen 2, and this is the first official like pictures I think I've seen of it. This is a T97, which is in 223, and it comes with a couple of different extras. First things off, it's got a lowered rail along the front, similar to the FTU that T97.ca makes, except this one's in key mod. It's a little bit lower. The charging handle is a fixed side charging handle instead of a non-reciprocating like the T97 or a reciprocating top charging handle. It's kind of like a trigger. It's kind of reminiscent of the old M16 design. And it's got an ambi mag release. So the mag release, I think you'll be able to more easily grab around and grab those mags out. So a little bit different. The safety is still like way up in your armpit, but it would have been cool to see it up on the handle kind of a thing. But it's still a big step up in terms of usability over the T97 Gen 1. And when you look at the Canadian market and what's available for non-restricted 223 bullpup rifles, it's this and the Tavor, right?
Yeah, true. For bullpup, yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean,
I'll tell you, very different price ranges, right?
Yeah, I tell you. Oh yeah, my goodness. I tell you what I like about this one. Well, the flat top upper was a huge improvement over the original configuration of this rifle, which wasn't horrific. I mean, I had one in the original configuration. It was what it was. Mm-hmm. What I like about this modification, two things that they've done. They've lowered the rail even more than the flat top upper that came out from M14.ca. So that's cool. So it gets the height over bore a little bit lower still. And now they've incorporated key mod in the original flat top upper from M14.ca. There were some slots there, but you kind of had to buy the right kind of rail, and the rest of the world has gone key mod. So this going key mod is kind of standardizing it along, when we went from Picatinny to when rails started to come out in Picatinny across the board. What's the other rail that we've got out there? Weaver, right. So I think Weaver's gone the way of the Dodo Bird, and everybody just went to Picatinny rail. Well, now everybody seems to be going key mod, right? So it's the new standard, which is making this more versatile. I'll tell you what I don't like about it is the reciprocating charging handle. That was one cool feature of the M14.ca flat top upper, was they made that charging handle non-reciprocating. You charged it.
I thought I read that it was non-reciprocating.
I'll see. I'm looking at the picture here, and I can't.
The Gen 2 features the flat top
ambidextrous, non-reciprocating.
Yeah.
But
it is non-reciprocated. Yeah.
Oh, I thought Adriel said it was reciprocated.
He did say it. He's just said it wrong.
And you're right. I'm reading the same thing. Excellent. Well, then it's just win-win-win. It's still non-reciprocating. They've put in key mod, and they've lowered the height over bore. Now,
I think I'd rather have. So if it's a left charging handle, and that's the only thing you've got, and it's not going to like hit you in the teeth, I wouldn't mind a reciprocating charging handle. I don't mind that on on a rifle.
I don't want it. I don't want that thing swinging around for any. You never know what kind of odd shooting position you may find yourself in. Parts on a rifle shouldn't be swinging or moving on the exterior. You don't want that hitting onto something. You're in a tight spot. I mean, it hits a door frame, it hits a window frame. If this rifle had like a bolt release in a decent spot, I would agree with you. So the thing with an AR is it's got a fantastic bolt release, it's got a fantastic mag release, and you don't really have to use a charging handle that often. Use it once to charge the weapon, and then after that it'll lock open on an empty mag. You change your mags, you hit the bolt release, right? All those are readily available. They aren't really on a T97, so that's the reason why I would say, like, you have to run it anyways. And on a non-reciprocating charging handle, you have to like rip it back, break that initial resistance, and then run it up to where it should be, hit that thing, and then release it. So that's why I would say I'd rather have a reciprocating charging handle.
For competition,
non-reciprocating is fine too.
Sure.
Yeah,
I get your frame of thought, though.
The XCR is on the left side. It's not reciprocating, so you'd have to.
But it's got a fantastic bolt release.
Oh, you're right. It does too. It's right on the trigger guard. Yes. I see your point now. But you're a slave to the charging handle on this thing to get the bolt to go back in the battery.
You got it. Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. Now with the T97, it was reversible. I don't know if this one's going to be reversible. I know it is.
It is
reversible.
Although,
for left
why?
hand, right hand.
Why? The ejection port's not reversible, so.
For a lefty or righty, I could see some people.
A lefty's never going to shoot this rifle.
Yes,
the ejection port's in your face.
Right, yeah. So
no, it's just about arms commonality, right? The Chinese government has so many soldiers, they can just force them to shoot right.
That's it.
Well, it's communism. Do what you're told. Cool. All right. Awesome. I'm excited about that for sure.
My only issue with bullpups is the sight heights over bore, the height over bore for the sights. Just, it drives me nuts.
Which part? It's a known thing that you can.
Be a bit better. It shouldn't be as bad as past ones because it dips a bit.
It should, yeah. It should be a bit better. It's still going to be higher than an AR though, and I find an AR at the upper limits of my tolerance.
Yeah.
I like my sights to be closer to the bore. I know it's a known variable, and you can adjust for it at range, but in close, you really have to be aware that your muzzle is 4 inches lower than your sight line. And I've seen so many chronographs shot because people don't remember that. And I like them closer together is all.
It makes them hard to shoot through a VTAC or something like that if you're going to do 3-gun as well. So shooting through a bore, that higher height over bore is just death.
Well, that's where you just shoot through the VTAC.
True.
For tonight's main topic, we have Sean Heineman and Wes Stevens of the Regina Wildlife Federation. Recently, their gun club was in the news in regards to the RCMP training that was taking part at their local shooting range. It kind of upset the neighbors a little bit. So we asked Sean and Wes to come on to talk about the fact that they're having some problems with their neighbors and what's going on with that, but also about the fact that Sean, you were in the news as well. So we wanted to thank you guys for coming on and briefly introduce yourselves if you can. Sean, I know that you're the vice president, but give us a little bit of background about yourself.
Okay. Well, I am actually the second vice president. Wes is the first, and the way the structure works, it goes president, vice president 1, vice president 2. So I'm third in line, I guess.
Oh, okay.
But so Wes is kind of my boss in terms of this stuff.
Awesome.
Unfortunately, but so I've been shooting since about 2007. I recently got involved here 2 years ago. Wes actually was the catalyst in getting me involved. Got me involved with IDPA shooting. He basically kicked my rear end in getting me getting my restricted, and bought an M&P 9 and started shooting IDPA with Wes in the little club he had started there at the RWF, and everything's kind of spitballed from there.
Okay. And Wes, we know you. We know you from the charity shoot. You and your partner Grant came down for that.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a great time. You guys sure know how to throw on a good shoot down there.
Okay. So you're the second vice president there at the Regina Wildlife Federation. Can you tell us a little bit about, Sean told us what types of shooting he does. What type do you do?
I started shooting PPC when I got into handguns, and then a friend of mine said we should try this IDPA thing. So we started shooting IDPA. It was just the two of us, and eventually we just gathered interest. So eventually we joined the Action Shooting Club local to Regina here, and we took it over, and we've been shooting IPSC and IDPA, and we've been trying to get into the CQM a little bit.
Okay.
Or CQB.
CQB?
Yeah.
All right. So
how'd you guys get into CQB? Did you guys have a tactical teacher out there, or someone else brought it in, kind of thing?
Well, Wes went to a course in Dundurn with Barney, right?
Yeah, with Hungry, your tactical teacher. Yeah, Barney.
Yeah, so he came to Dundurn Army Base, and we just had a course with like 15 people or so, and I really caught the bug. Rifle is kind of what I like to shoot, so I took it upon myself to, get everything that the club needed to shoot the CQB matches. Our range initially wasn't approved. We had a handgun bay that wasn't approved for rifle, so we got that approved for rifle, and now we shoot CQB matches once a month. We call them CQM because
political correctness.
The battle got made people uneasy. So we shoot CQM matches. We call them CQM for close quarter marksmanship, and it's been going good ever since. We've had couple matches. Like we've taken over the local practical shooting club, and it was kind of inactive, so we've kind of breathed some new life into it, and we're getting going again. So
yeah, it's interesting that there's a lot of shooting clubs out there, and some of them are active to different degrees, but throwing some new blood in there can really help in some instances, right?
Yep.
And that being said, Wes has done a substantial job. I got to give him a ton of props here, because Wes, he had surgery and kind of took over a situation that was really bad, and really killed it the last little bit. So props, buddy.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So why don't we talk about the story that was in the news last week? Sean, you were quoted in the story itself. So why don't you introduce a little bit and tell us what was going on with the...
Yeah, for sure.
With that.
Sorry to cut you off there, Kelly. Yeah. No, so in July of 2015, I think is the date, we were approached by the RCMP Depot Division and F Division. There's two different entities there, but the RWF was approached to help accommodate the RCMP in doing their carbine certifications, carbine, whatever you want to call it.
Carbine.
With their
Definitely
carbine.
Carbine. Yeah,
Carbine. Okay.
Just wanted to let you know what it was. Yeah.
I figured I'd touch a nerve with that. But, so they approached us to help accommodate them while the ranges were under construction. For whatever reason, they couldn't do their training there with the various troops moving through. Because as you know, Regina is the central training facility for all of Canada, for all cadets, right? So every cadet moving through has to be certified in the C8, the Coltomaco C8, right? So they approached us to help us accommodate, and we graciously accepted, at a fee very reasonable, so that we're not, we're not gouging them by any means, but we're doing okay for ourselves, and because all of our funds go to all the funds raised go to wildlife and habitat conservation in and around Saskatchewan, because we're a subsidiary of the Saskatchewan Wildlife Federation, and that's first and foremost. Shooting does help support that effort, because we do have great facilities out there. We recently just built a $1 million plus indoor range on our grounds. So
wow.
So we every dollar counts. So we graciously accepted and said, yeah, guys, we'll help you out as long as you need. And they came out. They started shooting in August, right, Wes?
Yeah, they've been shooting since last year. To add to the stuff, we charge about $150 a day per range, and they use about 3 ranges a day at the most, so 2 to 3 ranges a day. So they're not being charged very much.
Okay. So
Yeah.
good deal.
Yeah, so they started, I think, in August of 2015, and that year in Regina here was substantially warm. Like it was, the summer was pretty hot, no winds, not a lot of precipitation, etc. So they got started a little earlier. I think it was 1 or 2 days. They got started at about 7 o'clock, firing whatever course of fire they're doing. And so then a couple of the neighbors, actually, I think it was just one family, started. They called the White Butte Detachment in Pilot Butte, Saskatchewan, or White City, Saskatchewan, pardon me, to complain. And they said, well, guys, we'll look into it. Got back to them 15, 20 minutes later and said, hey, that's us. Sorry, essentially, but, that's it. And so they were progressively getting more and more disgruntled. We talked with the parties in question. I'm not going to name names, but we had a little bit of correspondence with them. We delivered a letter to them stating we're going to change our hours from sun up to sundown to 7:30 to 5, essentially, to kind of give them peace of mind, right? Mm-hmm. And so that happened. And it's been going on ever since. They approached the RM, the rural municipality of Edenwold, Saskatchewan, to kind of complain to us because they can't go to the police because it is the police. And they went to the RM of Edenwold. Edenwold approached us. They said, let's deal with this. Or pardon me, they didn't even say that. They said, let's come to an amicable solution here. And we sent a letter to them saying, hey, you're welcome to come out to any one of our meetings every Tuesday or the first Tuesday of every month. Come on out. Let's talk about this. They didn't show up. One thing I should mention is the Regina Wildlife Federation, or RWF is what I'm going to call it for short here. We're all volunteer ran. There's except for one guy. We have a paid operations manager who looks after our rentals and the grounds, essentially. And so anyway, during this, they approached the RM. We said, hey, guys, come out to the meeting. They never showed up. Next thing you know, we're getting pulled into the RM office in Balgonie, Saskatchewan, to talk about this, to kind of find an amicable solution. And nothing happened. Both parties, us and the citizens in question, pleaded their case. Nothing really came of it. The RM just said, hey, guys, figure it out. We don't care. Just figure this out. And, nothing came of that. So
how long ago was that, Sean?
Wes, what's the timeline on this?
Ooh, like when did they
when did they first start complaining?
When did they the first day they started complaining is they phoned the RCMP detachment right away. Last year they did complain throughout the year, and but it kind of fell on deaf ears. Like the RM didn't care because there was an initial timeline of only 15 weeks. So they thought they would just put up with it, right?
Right. So originally the RCMP said that they were only going to be there for 15 weeks and they'd shoot for that period of time, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So can I ask you a question about where exactly are you located? How close are you to Regina, and what community is this?
So the range itself is about 10 kilometers to the east of Regina.
Okay.
And there's 2 communities that are right close to the range. The town of Pilot Butte, which is probably 2 kilometers west of the range. Mm-hmm. And then there's White City, which is probably 1 kilometer south. Now, the development that is complaining about this, the noise, mm-hmm. they built literally on the other side of the grid road to our range. So there's multi-million-dollar homes, like 3-4-story homes. Yep. Right on the other side of the road.
Okay. So how long has the range been there?
The range opened in 1962, mm-hmm. and if you're wondering like how long has there been this volume of fire going, mm-hmm. The Regina Police Service built the combat pistol range on the grounds in 1964, so 2 years later.
Okay.
So
It's been there for a while.
Right.
Yeah.
So what about the community though? They came in knowing that there was a range there, right?
correct. The community has been there for, I'm going to say, the last 2-3 years. There's some houses still under construction. So
2010, the first house was built.
there
Okay.
you go.
All right.
There's 60 some houses there, 65 I think I heard. So
All right. But have you had other complaints other than the one family, or are there multiple
Well,
complaints?
the family claims to have started an organization, and they claim to represent the neighborhood as a whole. So
Okay.
they have like a president, I guess, that was elected. So they represent the whole community, they claim. Now, at this meeting that we just had with the RCMP and the residents of Stone Point and the RM, there was about 3 or 4 families from that neighborhood at the meeting. So,
Okay.
Sorry,
So-
I kind of got to correct you there, Wes. There's actually 2, plus
Two?
one that's not part of Stone Point.
Okay.
But yeah, so yeah. Anyway, go on.
Okay. So the RCMP were basically there from about 7:30 in the morning. What time were they there until in the evening shooting? Usually sundown?
They usually pack it up around 4:30 or 5 o'clock. I don't think later in the day it was as much of a problem as at 7 in the morning. I guess these people were being rattled out of their beds. They
Right.
claim.
And
Yeah, but don't they have to get up and go to work anyway?
These are the type of people that I think they make their own schedules.
All right.
yeah.
Yeah, they're very affluent individuals, guys. So
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they're not that smart. They built next to a gun range. I bought my house.
Well, and to go further on that, like it says right in the deed to the house, like that I will not complain about certain non-residential activities that may generate excess noise. The
Right.
quarry that is just north of them, or us, which is just to the east.
Now you're
right, it's right in their land lease agreement.
right.
Clear as day.
Well, then I've got a leg to stand on.
Well,
So-
that's what you would think, but what happened to what's that range in Alberta?
Spruce Grove.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want this to escalate to that point, right? So we're trying to nip this in the bud
And
and trying to find a solution that benefits both parties, right?
Well, tell them they're anti-law enforcement. Right?
Yeah, well,
they're interfering with
The RCMP tried to tell them that this isn't just affecting you guys if we negate training here. This is affecting every family whose kids have to play in their yards all across Canada. And unfortunately, it fell on deaf ears during the big meeting that the media covered. And it's just, yeah.
Yeah, I watched the clip that was in the news piece, and yeah, basically that was it. You can train, but don't do it near me. Was what the lady was saying. So you said that you're trying to come to an amicable solution. What types of things have you done to try and mitigate it?
Well, I personally, I've reached out to them. Like I work in a sales-oriented industry. Like so I know that communication's number one. And yes, maybe we didn't take the right steps, but moving forward, I gave them my personal cell. So I don't know if that's a mistake or not. We're going to find out. But I said, hey guys, if you have any issues, give me a call. I'm on it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Give me a shout. I will help you out to the best of my ability. But we, backing up a bit, I don't want it to escalate to Spruce Grove. I don't want to have our range essentially shut down. And they've said multiple times, no, we're not looking to shut them down. We're not looking to do that. Well, but looking at it from 35,000 feet, back down on it. Yeah, it looks like they're taking the first steps.
Yeah,
and shutting us down.
I understand. I understand totally what they're saying. They don't want to shut the range down. They just don't want you to use it.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
you
and
can
they
convert it.
say-
to
Not in my backyard, right?
Yeah.
They say that it's okay when a hunter is sighting in his 300 Win Mag or his 308 or our centerfire range goes out to 300 yards west, I think.
Yeah.
But,
300.
guys sight in their 338 Lapua And I can tell you that's a heck of a lot louder than a 223 Remington fired out of an AR-15.
Yeah, it's a rapid fire thing. I hope you guys don't get stuck with one of those silly 1 round per second rules. I was at a range in BC once where you had to literally like time your semi-automatic shots. It was bang, 1,000.
Yeah,
well, it's funny you say that because like we almost went that route. We did have an issue. Our range is kind of laid out. If you can picture an L, the long part of the L is our 300-yard rifle range, and then the little part of the L, like our pistol bays, they all kind of go off to the side in that shape. So we had I'm going to say a new Canadian, didn't even speak English. He had an SKS, and he was shooting it all over the place. And we had kids doing biathlon on the far edge of the range, and they had bullets going over the frickin' heads, like over the berms. And like it's down, like the pistol bays are kind of down into the ground a bit. Like it was just like nuts. So they wanted to ban SKS's, steel case ammo, no rapid fire.
That's a him problem, not a,
yeah. So
it's not even an SKS.
Well,
problem.
and Trevor, we took action against the individual,
Good.
and and rightfully so. But that hasn't deterred things. And honestly, the RWF, since me and Wes kind of got into the picture, we've moved toward a more shooter-oriented organization, especially for the grounds, because we offer picnic sites, we offer walking trails, we offer ski trails, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But we're primarily a shooting club. Now, we're not a shooting club because we're a wildlife conservation habitat club. But, we're more... The shooters is what pays our bills. They
shoot everything but the animals?
Well, yeah, essentially.
You're doing it wrong.
Well, we just had a freaking deer carcass turn up at our 200-yard rifle line.
Dear.
So
yeah,
someone shot it. I don't know what the heck happened with it.
Natural causes.
You're protected, right? Because you are a wildlife conservation area, are you not?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
Okay. So that is part of it too. One of the things that they said in the interview was that the RCMP were shooting off approximately 36,000 rounds a day there.
No, they weren't.
Wrong. That's wrong. It's more in tune to that a week, and the estimate ranges depending on how many troops go through during that week. But the estimate ranges between 35,000 and 45,000 rounds a week. So. A week. That's 5 business days, Monday to Friday, between business hours. So they're not going Saturday morning at 7:30, 8 o'clock, blasting away. They're well within their rights and their limits and our rights and our limits to do what they do. Yes, it's putting excess work and maintenance into our berms, but that's what they're paying. Exactly. That's what they're paying us for. So.
So one of the questions in the meeting with the RM was point blank. One of the reporters asked, "Has the RWF, violated any bylaws?" And the RM told us, "No, absolutely not. We are zoned correctly. We just had a review of our zoning a few years ago. Everything was in order. We've been renting to the RCMP and other various agencies for years, so we're all in the up and up." And that's when the conversation got a bit heated in that room, the residents of Stone Point were, how can you say that they aren't violating, we have the right to enjoy our yard, I guess. There's something written in the bylaws, but...
Read your deed and read the bylaws and then go away.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, kind of off the record here, guys, but in my opinion,
we're recording.
We're recording it, but the responsibility lays on the developer, and he didn't communicate effectively to what we are. We've been having law enforcement coming out since 1964 and renting our ranges for their training, because they can't accommodate what they need to have, the tools they need to have when they go out into the field. Because I don't know if you guys read any McLean articles or anything. Regina's a pretty, parts of it can be pretty sketchy. Same like Edmonton, same like Toronto, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, if we're not providing that space to our guys, our boys in blue and girls in blue. We're not doing our due diligence, especially when we have the facilities available for their use, right? So that's what it all falls back on.
Okay. So one of the things that I wanted to ask you guys about was, what do you see with the future? What are the plans with the RCMP? Are they going to continue to use the range, or you've said they've changed their hours a little bit, but
the hour change. The hour change was a last year thing. So in order to kind of appease them, they last year when they were told 15 weeks, they kind of were willing to bear it, right? So but in caveat, we were pushed the start date up to 7:30 in the morning. So that was fine. Now, where the frick was I going with this? I lost my place.
Where you see it going from here?
I have no idea.
All right.
This never happens to us. Don't worry about it.
Squirrel. So
I'm not used to
we
working.
pushed it up to 7:30, and so one of the compromises they put on the table was this coming year, 2017, they were willing to stop shooting in the months of July and August. So that's prime season for children to be out of school, right? So one of the big concerns that they gave us was their children are growing up where they think gunfire is a normal sound when they're playing outside, and she's very uneasy about that.
Oh my God, this isn't Kuwait,
Well, and Trevor, she's not from Kuwait. She's from South Africa, which is
Go back.
That's what, like, reading the comments on the CBC article, the Global News article, the CTV article, a lot of guys and a lot of people said that, which is sad to say, but in the end, if you don't like it, you don't build beside train tracks and expect to hear no trains, right?
Well, exactly. Literally, like, you could throw a baseball from my back deck and hit a train. Do I complain when my walls shake? No, because I knew it was there when I bought the house. Why can't? I mean, it's just that simple. I knew it was there.
See, and their issue is they want it to go back the way it was. They quote, like they were there probably a year or two before this RCMP carbine training got fully underway. But some of our members have stated, we want it to go back the way it was too, before the houses were there. So but you can't say those things because it almost gives them more traction at these meetings. When she goes to the meeting and she says that she's been receiving these hateful comments, it's just.
Well, and I have a contact. I'm not going to say what media it is. I have a buddy who works for one of the news agencies, and he stated to me that they actually approached the media on Monday saying, please retract your story because we're receiving all this hate mail, and I'm using my quoting figures. Hate mail. They're not receiving any sympathy when in reality it was them who reached out to the media in the first place. We didn't want this to be a big blown up thing.
Yeah, we wanted to. They thought it was good when it was going their way, and now it's not.
But the CBC story, I'm going to say, was very oriented to them.
Of course, it's CBC.
Obviously, right? And so, but then the other outlets, just Global, CTV, reported it fairly, and they received the backlash. The gentleman in question even posted a satellite photo of our range and compared to his house, and he circled his house in PDF file, and I said, when I hear this from my buddy, he says, they asked us to retract the story because they're fearing for their safety. I said, why would he put it out there that
where he lives? Yeah,
come on, man. Regardless of your political views, regardless of your stance on guns, you don't do that. And he's received no sympathy, and now he's trying to retract the story. And you know what? But and being a gun guy and seeing this again from 35,000 feet, because I don't know what it's like to live in their houses. I don't know, and I probably never will. But what I see is an agenda where they don't want guns near their house, and it's very sad to see that, because especially in a wildlife conservation standpoint, looking at it from that, and the amount of money, like Wes, what's the number that we donate per year? $50,000 to $100,000 a year to the Saskatchewan Wildlife Conservation or the Wildlife Federation to buy land, to buy public hunting land, and maintain that land. It just seems, it just seems really bad to me. You know what I mean?
And this is the RCMP they're basically going after the RCMP. Can you imagine if it was your 3-gun league?
Exactly.
You
and
guys
so
wouldn't
we
stand a chance.
right?
Yeah.
We've been looking at expanding to 3-gun because we traveled to Saskatoon and their world-class facility at the Saskatoon Rifle and Revolver Club up there. Like you guys were talking with Ryan Barch and Del Zimmer. They've shot a few matches there. But they got a world-class facility that's been paid partly in part of their membership, but also in the Wildlife Federation, right? So, we don't want to see that. And what if we expand to 3-gun? What if we want to host IPSC Nationals one year? What if, we could go on and on and on. And IPSC Nationals, Trevor, you're well aware that's a 3-4 day match.
Of open guns.
Yeah, with compensators, with 38 Supers, with 40 Smith & Wessons, but et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And what if we had a match on Saturday morning if we had 150 shooters, start at Saturday morning at 7:30, 8 o'clock to cycle those guys through. Where does this end, right? And we don't want to go down that rabbit hole, right? So
Now the solution here is to get these people on board to support suppressors in Canada.
Mm-hmm. Send them the site.
That's what and that's what me and Wes were kind of kicking around. We said we should approach our chief firearms officer in regards to this, but
require your range to use suppressors.
But all of us know that suppressors aren't issued to, looking at this from 10,000 feet, Trevor, and whoever. If suppressors are issued to our infield operator, our infield RCMP, and they train on it, but then they go back to unsuppressed rifles, that changes the impact, the point of impact, et cetera, right?
Well,
so that's not a solution. As much as I love it,
they sell us those monolithic uppers as surplus for half the value, and they retool with 10.3-inch uppers with cans on them. Right?
No,
everybody wins. It's good for the economy.
That sounds great. I'm all for it. I'm a huge fan of that. But when they're training with it, it's a lot different than when they have to use it in the field. And we need to have them training like they're gonna. Well, I hate to use this adage, Wes, but train as you would fight, right?
Yeah.
And,
I'm saying they fight with them. They carry them all the time.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The only problem with like a 10-inch gun with a suppressor would be like, those guns are intended to close the gap, like they're scared of the, like the nut with a 300 Win Mag taking pot shots at them from hundreds of yards away. Like a 10-inch gun with a suppressor is that's like a inside rifle. That's
200 meters, no problem.
Well, yeah, but for an expert marksman, we're talking about your
right.
new cadet that's rolling through depot. Probably
who hasn't touched a rifle before.
Yeah.
Some of them don't even have a driver's license.
Yeah, there you go.
Awesome.
Well.
So, question about the RCMP then. What are their plans to continue with you guys? Is it indefinite, or are they building a facility where they're going to be able to use their own, or is this what's going on?
So they are building a facility at depot, but that's obviously going to be 2 or 3 years down the line.
Well, it's government, so it's going to be about 5, right?
Okay, yeah, I understand that. So, but they basically told the residents of Stone Point, like, we have nowhere else to go.
Right.
There's nowhere they're not going to truck 32 cadets up to Saskatoon just for a day of rifle training.
32 cadets per troop. So
per
there's
troop,
36 troops come per year, right?
Yeah.
So they're not going to pay the expense to truck them 6-hour round trip to Saskatoon, 2.5 hours at one way, right? To truck them up there, put them through their course of fire, and then truck them back. They're just not going to do that. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for tax dollars being spent, et cetera, right?
So one of the things they offered is we have another range in the immediate area. It's called Condi, and they just have like a single bay 100-meter range. They're going to try to do F divisions like in-service training or like training for members that are already, past depot. They're going to try and do the F division training, which is a lot less training requirement, but they're going to do it at Condi instead. Well, they're going to look into doing it at Condi. I don't know for sure if that's
essentially
that's feasible.
They're recertifications, right? And that includes the Smith & Wesson 5946 pistol. And Wes, are they doing the C8 training or the recertifications at Condi as well?
As far as I know, all F division shoot like firearms training will be done at Condi. They're going to look into it. They don't know if the range is adequate. From what I've heard, there's nowhere to park. It's a 100-yard range, but it's covered. It's got like a no sky rule where you can't see any of the sky from the shooting line. And they also, I hear, have a farmer that's downrange that's already claiming that bullets are striking his house. So
wow.
I don't know how he's going to feel once the RCMP starts shooting there.
Okay. So what do you think some of the things that you guys can do other than change hours or
well, it's
what
good
are the
that
things
you bring this up?
Yeah.
So I'm still a little miffed about it, but we have a large project going on in Regina here called the Regina Bypass, and they're basically routing the Trans-Canada Highway just south of the city. Well, they need dirt and they need fill to build these overpasses. So we have a whole bunch of sand and clay in our range area, like it's a lot of undeveloped area. So they asked if they could have buy some off of them. We said, well, we won't sell it to you, but we'll give it to you in return for work. And they go, whatever you want. So we had plans to build up every one of our bays, like 6 meters high berms on all 3 sides, like the back, the sides, everything. And it would have deflected a lot of that noise, like at least up, but once Stone Point, the same neighborhood that complains about the noise, got word that there's going to be heavy gravel trucks going up and down our road, they petitioned the RM. The RM, it got close to election season. He had to give them something. I figured. So he had disallowed the hauling permit, I guess, for all those trucks. So that got totally canceled with nothing. We couldn't have
and the Regina Bypass group, because part of the concern was, well, you're going to tear up our blacktop, because it's not necessarily grid road that leads up to our entrance. There's blacktop there, right? Asphalt. And part of the concern was you guys are going to tear it up and you're going to destroy it. And the Regina Bypass people said, okay, we'll replace it. And because what they were going to do is they were going to take all of our fills off of our berms, all of our lead contaminated soil, use that as their fill for their roads because it didn't affect any water supply, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And they were going to give us the excess dirt from this. And to build it, like Wes said, to build our berms higher to help mitigate noise. And they said, yeah, we're going to replace the blacktop here. And the bypass people said, nope. They petitioned the RM. The RM proposed the alternative solution, saying you guys have to move 3 miles north and then come back around. And by that time, the bypass people said, well, it's past our time frame. We're going to find another solution,
right?
Which they did. So, which is unfortunate for us because we could have had another Olympic-style biathlon range built, or another berm, a set of berms, I should say, built to the north of us, north of the RAPS range, the Regina Association of Practical Shooters, shameless plug. And they're going to build us a biathlon range, Olympic-style, to the north of us, and that fell through for free of charge. So.
Okay. Any other suggestions for the community that so that you can get into the good books and not? Any suggestions from us? You guys think of anything?
I mean, the thing with the range out here in Alberta is that they largely did the things that was asked of them, and they still got their permit pulled. So I would urge you guys to really understand what the municipality was looking for and make sure that you guys are in their good books, because it doesn't matter how long your range has been around. You guys can get your permit pulled by the municipality, so make sure that you're good with them.
Well, and we have multiple, I think 2 or 3 members of our federation on the actual council of the RM of Edenwold, which is where our land resides, right? So I think we're okay for the foreseeable future, but that being said, we have to be proactive in helping quell this problem, so that we don't turn out like Spruce Grove. Because like you said, and Wes touched on it in our first meeting with the RM, what I didn't mention was that they were looking at rezoning us from a recreational property, I think is what we are, to a commercial property, so we'd have to pay excess taxes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And they said, no, you guys have been like this since 1964. We're not changing that. And if we did change it, you could still operate as normal. You would just be what's the term? Legal non-conforming, right? Yeah. So we could still operate the way we are, but it would still pose risk to these people in this residence. So I don't know what more we can do besides kicking the RCMP out and losing that revenue, which could help pay for our new indoor range, which is really good. I'm very impressed with it. That and also our donations to wildlife, because Trevor and Matt and Adriel, as you know, wildlife conservation is key in Canada. And, we got to keep this up because we have lands that need help. We have animals that need help, and this is a source of revenue for that, right? So.
Yeah. So one of the things that I was thinking about is the fact that it is a protected area, and you said that you have barbecues there, you have trails and different things like that. Do you have memberships for it at all?
Absolutely. Yeah, we offer various levels of membership. Okay. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but we have memberships that basically just get you onto the ground so you can use the property. And we have memberships that give you access to various facilities, including the indoor range, but various levels, right? So we have currently, I think for 2016, we're going to finish around 1,100 members. Is that right, Wes?
Yeah, 1,000, 1,100, somewhere in there. Yeah.
Roughly in that area. And then also our pistol ranges, which are certified with the Canadian Firearms Program. We have 3 on the premises. We have the RAPS, which is the Regina Association of Practical Shooters, which is the IPSC IDPA CQM club. They operate, them and the GPSA, which is Great Plains Shooters Association, which is the PPC, Police Practical, what is it, Wes? Police Practical Combat?
PPC club, yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And then we have the RWF Handgun Club, the Regina Federation Handgun Club, which is basically bench shooting with a pistol. And they all operate as affiliates. So they technically rent the land, but with no rent, right? So, so they operate as individual entities within the RWF grounds. Plus we have a 200-yard black powder range, which can also be used for shotgun slugs and, black powder. Then we have the rimfire range, which we were looking to expand with the Regina bypass people coming in, but that was negated. So I think that's at 100 yards. And then the centerfire range, which goes from 25, 100, 200, and 300. Right, Wes? And that's all bench shooting. So we have a multitude of shooters that come out there with all aspects of shooting. And we also have a trap range. And Trevor, you're going to love this. 2 archery ranges out there.
Sweet. 3D?
No. Well, I think they have 3D shoots out there, but we do have. Yeah, exactly.
What's the range? What's it go out to?
West?
To be honest, I've never stepped foot on the archery range. There's no time for that kind of crap.
That is the best.
Hey, have you seen that guy who shoots arrows really fast?
Stop.
You should send him that video or link him in it. You got to tag him in that. He hasn't seen it, I'm sure of it.
What's his name again?
I'm not telling
something
you.
Or other.
Lars Larson.
Yep. There it is.
Yeah.
So listeners, I mean, Trevor just hasn't seen that yet. You really got to tag him in this and just, show him what Lars Larson can do.
I will continue to unfriend anyone who sends it to me.
Is that all it takes?
That's double incentive, folks.
Oh, Kelly, you're so gone right now. When you get off the show, you're going to find yourself unfriended.
Oh, I'm going to be posting pictures of you, buddy.
They also have that archery paintball thing too.
Also lame.
with the foam tipped combat archery.
Yeah.
Well, one of the reasons why I asked about it is because of the fact that besides all of the shooting, you have other things there that the community can actually...
Well, and outside of shooting, sorry to cut you off there, Kelly, but outside of shooting, we have a hall facility that people have gotten married in that I'm actually looking at getting married in coming up soon. We'll see. I don't know. It's
awesome.
pretty...
What's his name? Well, it's 2016. You can't assume anything anymore.
Well, that's right. But
how dare you assume his gender?
Exactly.
You are the worst type of person, Trevor.
I know. It's awesome.
But yeah, we host all sorts of events out at our hall, which can hold up to 250 people, I believe. Maybe 200 or less than that. I'm not too sure. With full kitchen service, full bar service, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that also is key to us getting the RCMP in there because the RCMP use that as classroom, right? So, and then also our indoor range, which is now state of the art, albeit it's built more PPC oriented, but it's a hell of a range, and especially for indoor. Now it's not quite at the level of the Red Deer Shooting Center or Calgary Shooting Center, but it's up there, and it was all done for less than $1 million, and that's huge, especially for a 50-meter range that can take any pistol caliber. That's a heck of an achievement, and we have to pay for that now, but that's where the RCMP comes in. That's where because we don't just rent to the RCMP. We rent out to this sometimes, very rarely, the Regina City Police, but also Correction Service Canada, because we have a provincial jail on our outskirts.
Hey.
Oh, they are barred from our range.
Well, but you know what, guys? We've had zero issues with them, and they've been great renters from us. They pay the same rate as everybody else. But with their 870s and with their pistols, we also do Garda World and Brink Security come out as well.
You're getting used by everybody. You really need to be. Yep.
See, the club used to be more of a social club at inception, right? They used to have a dance every Friday night. Used to be a party. Everyone from the community would hang out there. But now, it's more for people just use it for the ranges. People buy their memberships at hunting season to fire 3 or 4 rounds out of their hunting rifle sight in, and then the sport shooters. Those are your main, memberships that are being sold.
Well, maybe give some to the people that aren't that happy. Maybe they can come over and use them and see what it's all about. Use the facilities.
Well,
our biathlon coordinator has reached out to the community of Stone Point. He's gone door to door, and he's now got 3 or 4 families that now bring their children to participate in biathlon, which is a great sport. It's an Olympic sport, and it's a great sport for. I did biathlon. I was in cadets when I was a kid. It's tons of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Where also the biathlon people share the range with the Regina Association of Practical Shooters. So they, albeit there's a bit of a transition period. So when we set up our stages for IDPA or IPSC or whatever it is on our one range, when we haven't booked the other ranges, which is a 50-yard pistol base, so there's some limitations there, but they can see what we're doing. And some people stay and watch sometimes. But they get experience to other types of shooting that they may not be experienced with, in just their biathlon 22 and shit shooting and stuff like that, right? So.
Yep, exactly. Get them interested in something else. Trevor, Adriel, Matthew, do you got any other questions for Sean or Wes at all?
Sean, you still got the 2011?
I do. Trevor, I actually have a story about that.
Go for it. We love random stories. I mean, I do.
Wes is going to have a chuckle at this.
I'm partly responsible for this story if it's a story I'm thinking, but
okay,
do go on.
So I got to back up to August, and we had Earl Green. Yeah, we had Earl Green come out to do a carbine course, which is phase line green tactical. He came out and did a carbine course. Carbine. Sorry. Don't judge me.
No, okay. Well, we are, but quietly.
Totally, but that's okay.
Yeah.
We had him come out and do a carbine course at our RAPS range, and part of it was he told a story which said whichever competition shoots he does, he always goes to a couple certain people and gives bad voodoo, and I'm kind of doing the voodoo fingers if you can imagine, on their guns, and that screws people up, right? So me and Wes are there, and we're having a great time, and Wes hears this, and Wes is kind of like you, Trevor. He's a very unique individual. So we're at Saskatchewan. We're at Saskatchewan IPSC provincials, and I'm running your 2011. Or my 2011. I guess.
No,
it's been 2 years.
No, still kind of mine. That's fine.
But it ran great for the first stage. And Wes says, "Hey, you know what? Earl Green said I should do this." And he goes up and he gives me bad voodoo. I'm like, "Yeah, whatever, buddy. Yeah, whatever." Lo and behold, the next stage, it starts gumming up, and it starts the recoil master starts legging the slide back, and my grip goes up a little too high on the slide, and it's really negating that slide from going into full battery. And Wes just got in my head because we're in the same squad together.
Basically, it turned his pistol into a single shot pistol, and then as he's beating the thing through the whole course of fire, the friggin' gas pedal flies off. Like literally, screw's gone into oblivion. Like,
so I thought we were gonna do the what we did in guns this week, and part of what I did in guns this week was searching for these two flathead machine screws, so the countersunk machine screws that hold on the RHT gas pedal, Trevor. And I never tested, I never torqued them in, I never Loctited them in, and you obviously never did either.
Well, so, they never fell out on me.
Yeah, well,
you never had to beat the snot out of it.
True.
So I think I'm running through stage 4, and I was running a pretty good stage, and I think halfway through the stage, the back screw flies out, so the gas pedal kind of drops down underneath the frame. And it's held on by one screw. So I'm like, oh, what the heck? And I kept going because I'm like, I can't let this screw me up. So I kept going, and then all of a sudden the gas pedal's hitting me in the face after it loses the thread, the last little bit of thread.
You don't want it to do that. That's not its intended use.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that insight. Thanks, Adriel.
Well,
so lo and behold, I lost the 2 screws, believe it or not. In the dirt at the brand new Saskatchewan Wildlife Federation range, and I've been trying to source those screws, which are number 5x40, and I don't want to pay $3 a screw. So if you guys have any input onto where I can get them, let me know.
I probably have some here. Send me a message after the show with your address, and I'll see if I'll put some in an envelope for you.
Now that's funny because I asked you a week after it happened, and you said, I don't know, man.
I was probably busy and blew you off, but I'm pretty sure I have some.
Okay.
Honesty.
Thanks, buddy.
No problem.
All right. So, thanks for coming on, Sean and Wesley. Thanks for coming on and talking about the range and what's going on. Please let us know what happens in the future with the range, and wish good luck with your neighbors. Maybe throw a barbecue, invite them. I don't know.
Well, that's part of it, right? We have a range cleanup day once a year, and we should, and it's kind of an open house as well. We should invite them out, but like we've said, we've invited them out to our meetings. Now, as enticing as our meetings are, like I'm pretty sarcastic there, but we'll keep trying, but basically the RCMP has taken the stance that there's nowhere else to go.
Yeah.
I'm almost under the impression that even if we didn't want them there, they'd be there because they need to do this federally mandated training. They need to train hundreds of cadets a year, and it's just going to happen. It's going to happen somewhere, and it's going to be somewhere safe, right? They're obviously going to shoot into berms.
Right.
So we're the only game in town.
Yep, you are.
And Kelly, you guys, outside of that, I just wanted to add, you guys have a great thing going on here with Slamfire. Keep it up. Keep going strong.
Thanks.
You guys are doing a heck of a job. And I've been listening every week for the last 3 years. Thank you, Wes, by the way. Wes was living with me when I was in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. Yes, don't judge.
Back when we were just common law.
And he got me turned on to you guys when you were...
He got you turned on, full stop. We were going to edit that.
He's coming on a little too hard to me, so I'm like, here, listen to these guys.
Listen to this, because I don't like you. Yeah.
More phrasing.
Anyway, but no, in all seriousness, guys, you guys are doing a hell of a job, and keep it up. You got two fans here who listen every week, and just keep it going, guys.
Awesome, man. Thanks a lot. It's not always without the drama, but yeah, I appreciate that. Thanks, guys.
I must say though, during April Fools, Trevor, you had me going because I immediately texted Wes like, Matt's done. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. And Wes is like, yeah, you're an idiot. It's okay.
I got a lot of concerned messages over that.
That was awesome. I can't wait till we screw you guys over again this year. I'm not sure what we'll do, but
it'll be something.
It'll be something.
We'll figure
You
it out.
even warned them, and you'll probably still get them.
Yeah.
Easy.
Okay. But thanks for having us on. Hopefully next time we can be talking about something a little bit more positive.
Hope so,
If we're ever on it.
If there is a next time.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, thanks again, Wes and Sean, for coming on.
No
Have
problem.
a great night.
You too, guys. Thanks.
And we just wanted to say thank you once again to Sean and Wes for coming on tonight and talking about the troubles at the range. And we're hoping that they'll have a good resolution. So we're going to go on to feedback, listener feedback. Who wants to read Keenan? How about Matthew?
Yay! I won.
Yay!
All right, from Keenan. Hey guys, thanks for taking the time to debate my idea of getting a .22 handgun to practice with and a full-size 9mm handgun for competition. I took your advice and separated the two in my head. I agree with you guys that I will end up just shooting the 9mm full-time and not using the .22 for training. I know Matt wanted pics of the .22 that I buy, but that's on the back burner for a little while. But I did end up getting a new CZ Shadow 1 as Wolverine had them on for a really good deal this week. So all in all, I think I got a good handgun to introduce me to IPSC. Thanks for the advice, Keenan. Well, you're welcome, man. That's a good gun to get started off in NIPSC with, for sure.
Killer gun.
Started off.
I was just talking with someone.
And speaking of, what you can do is you can get the CZ Cadet conversion kit, and then you can build, you can train with .22.
I thought it was a SIG cadet conversion kit.
Is it? I don't know. It doesn't matter. The joke was we told him not to do that, and now I'm giving him advice to do that. That was the joke. Yeah.
My bad.
We'll just carry on as if I didn't say that at all. But there is a conversion kit for the CZ that you can get.
But why?
But why? Yeah,
there's
but
no
why
sense.
would you?
Don't do that. I was kidding. Don't do that. But anyway, thanks for the feedback there, Keenan. We are happy that you took our advice. You're the first one.
That was funny.
All right. Speaking of
Funny.
feedback and taking advice for, I don't know. I think it's a follow-up email. It's from Justin. Trevor, why don't you read that one?
All right, Justin says, I, of course, have enjoyed all of the cast members from the couple of years I have listened. Trevor has always been funny. I just specifically enjoyed Trevor's attitude in the last episode. P.S. Thanks for the range selection help. So Justin is the guy in Edmonton, I think, or Alberta?
Yeah, there we go.
Or Edmonton, yeah, we're trying to push him towards it.
Or Edmonton's in Alberta, so you're correct either way, really.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of like a Patrick Fitz-David and David Fitzpatrick. No, it's
Fitzgerald, isn't
it?
That.
No,
Thank you,
we're
Adriel.
not going there.
And so, Justin, I think you're funny too. There you go. If
Okay.
yeah,
Remember the last time it was you were happy that Justin, you can now sleep at night because never mind.
because Justin thought I was funny or something.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Something like that.
Yeah. All right. If you'd like to send us an email, you can do it. Just fire us off an email. To
Fire at us.
Yeah.
Hey, don't fire at us, please.
No.
Hold your fire.
Hold your fire. But you can send an email to slamfireradio@gmail.com, and you can address it all to Trevor. And we have iTunes reviews. We got none. I asked Stacy before the show, and she said, nope, nothing new. So send us an iTunes as well. 5-star ratings, that's what we want, but you know what?
We only take 5-star ratings. We delete
Come
the rest.
on.
Yeah, stop, Kelly. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, come on. Don't let the listeners think they have a choice.
Well, they don't really have
They
a choice.
really
but,
don't.
yeah,
I mean, listen, we're not Paul Carlson who says, I don't learn anything from fake 5-star reviews. I need an honest review so I can get... No,
That's not us. Stroke our ego.
Do you
Yeah,
think he really means that?
Absolutely he does. I know
Does
he
he?
does. Yeah, absolutely he does.
He's a nice guy.
Us, though, we also mean it when we say...
We want
just
5 stars.
5 stars, yeah.
If I'm sorry.
And if you want us to improve, you should probably just listen to somebody else.
That's right. If I want to learn something, I'd go back to school.
All right. So, yeah, we do have 144 of them. So, yeah, we never measured any other ones. So we're keeping track of those. And, yeah, we'll read them here. No matter if
Just
they're
the 5
funny or
stars.
not. Just 5 stars. Okay.
Yes.
We delete everything else, so it doesn't matter.
Okay. Shoutouts. Who's got one?
I got a couple. First one is to Jason S. Now, guys, we've hit the big time.
Oh, God.
Jason S. bought me a Donair.
Wow.
Woo!
Wow.
Really?
That's something, man. That's something.
Okay.
It's a Donair.
Yeah, Jerry Michalik. I don't know if people buy him Donairs every day. Jason bought me a Donair.
I don't
I'm
know
feeling
if Jerry
pretty
knows
good.
what a Donair is.
Oh, come on.
Hey, Jim on the Reloading podcast didn't know what a poutine was.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, but he's
So-
from one of those funny states.
If I had a listener buy me a poutine, like I'd be like
That's it.
the only gun guy who's had a poutine bought
You'd
for
be
him.
like podcasting royalty.
Donairs
I'll make this. I'll make this a personal goal. Anyways, Jason and I talked about how he bought a CZ Shadow SPO1, and we were talking about how awesome they were. CZ SPO1.
So what type of donair was it? Like an East Coast donair, or was it some, ugh.
You mean
Middle Eastern? I don't know. Like I thought I was gonna go for the middle one because they had like the regular, they had the XL, and then they had like jumbo. And he's like, the regular one's pretty like a lot. And I'm like, nah, I'm gonna get the XL and fries because you're buying. And it was way too much. It was too much for me. I was embarrassed. I couldn't finish the donair, and I barely touched the fries. It was just an embarrassing show.
Did you drop any of it while walking upstairs?
No.
Okay, just checking.
Is this to deal with a calf blowout or something?
You and me at the movies.
Oh yeah.
That was
This
awful.
is a story for after, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, maybe.
All
Oh
right.
yeah, and then the other one I had, my range exec. Like I wasn't at the exec meeting, but apparently they gave our 3-gun club like a pile a whack of cash for targets for this year. So we're going to definitely up our target game, and it's going to really help with having like a lot more targets, a lot more stuff to shoot at. So kudos to those guys for supporting us.
All right. That's
Cool.
it for shoutouts then, guys. Yep. All right, Patreon supporters. We don't have any new ones. So we'd just like to say thank you again to Brian B., Dave J., Michael B., Clayton G., Robert K., Colin H., Dave Z., Mr. Uzi. We also have Morgan S., Jason P., Dalton H., Jonathan S., Tyler A., Richard D., Rob B., Thomas S., Chad G., Kevin L., Ryan B., Adrian R., Mike R., Mark P., Justin D., Miss Stacy, Spencer C., Byron A., and James B. Wow, we got a lot of them. So,
Good job.
yeah,
We didn't actually add Brian B.
we did. I said his name first.
You're putting the new ones at the front, and
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah.
I was gonna say because for $1, I don't know if we should really put him on the list.
Uh,
I thought we weren't bringing that up.
I
Oh, wait, I brought it up. My bad.
Wow, normally it's me that does that stuff.
That's okay. It's funny this way.
Yeah, really. I mean, if you bring it up, it must really be bad.
We need to give them a special name other than Patreon supporters. Patreonies.
Yeah, Patreonies.
The Patreonies.
Yeah.
Do you really like Patreonies? Let's put a vote out.
All right.
Anyways.
All in favor of Patreonies, say aye.
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 There we
All
go.
against?
Doesn't matter because Trevor and my votes
right.
count, and that's it. So
I thought we weren't going to read the whole list every week because it was getting long. We were just going to, if there's a new one, we'd like to welcome blah, blah, blah to the Patreon Club.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
Well, from now on, only people named Mark and Brian, because those are the ones we have the most of. It looks like. then we can just all the Brians and all the Marks.
Stand over here.
Yeah. A couple
All
of
right.
Robs. You know, I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, we'll
read
figure
them
it
out every now and then.
But we still
I think
like
it's important
everybody.
to. Yeah.
And thank you for supporting us.
Yeah.
Yes, it's very important that we support, that we, recognize
Yeah.
those people who are supporting us and making the show possible by helping us pay the bills.
Yep.
And
Well, they get special content every now and then. We got a special content coming out again
Every
soon,
month.
don't we?
Yeah, Monday night we will have another show. We have our guest booked. I'll be doing a test recording with him tomorrow.
Oh, that's probably a good
he's
idea.
He's
I'm
yet to
super
tell us what
excited.
our. Pardon me.
I'm super excited to have him on the show.
We're doing that
Yes.
Monday?
We always do it.
I'm
the
supposed to
first-
be on the Patriot podcast Monday night. I think I double booked.
Oh, you are. That's right. Okay, well maybe we'll have to move it to Tuesday then.
Oh. Or I could not go on the Patriot podcast. No,
Oh,
Joel
yeah.
will
Oh,
bounce
okay,
you
why
in
don't we
there.
talk about this after we're done recording, guys?
Oh, yeah. That sounds
maybe.
familiar.
Well,
All
if
right.
you would have finished the show already, it would have happened.
Yeah, this is on
Okay,
you,
we're-
Kelly.
Yep,
We're finishing
totally.
the show. Okay.
All right, finish it already then.
All right. So please join one of our national firearms associations, such as the CCFR, by their calendar, by the way, or you can go to the CSSA, or actually go to any of them, because it's really important to support them, because they really do support us. And also check us out on Gun Owners of Canada. We have the thread there. You can actually communicate with us there. We post there our shows as well and listen through that. So, and like us on Facebook. We're at 1,557 right now. I just checked before coming on. We have
Not
No.
nearly as many likes as the other podcast I'm on. I'm just saying it hit 2,000.
Wow.
that's nice. Congratulations.
Yeah, I know, right? Awesome. Reloading podcast is winning.
Okay. They also have a bigger listener base, but hey,
Everything's a contest. Yeah, I'm
it
just
is
saying.
for Trevor.
That's
Okay.
right.
Okay. So, yeah, that's about it. I'm not reading that whole list because we
Cool.
haven't gotten anything new. So I have a job for all of our listeners. Your homework is to send us some new stuff to put on this partridge in a pear tree thingy.
Great.
Yeah, well, I
This
mean,
will not end
Until
well.
the end of the year.
or we could just go back to gold thumbs.
Gold thumbs. That's
Gold
it.
thumbs.
Gold stars.
Stars
Gold
up.
stars and thumbs
Wait.
up. Stars are up.
Stars
the-
are
gold.
thumbs.
Yeah. The other homework that they have is start sending us your stuff for Christmas.
Yes.
We want to know what you want for Christmas because we're sending all of our listeners a package, right? We're sending everybody a package.
Trevor, you're sending ammo, right?
Trevor's sending ammo to everybody, every single
Yep.
person.
That's what I heard.
Yep. Good thing we only have 2 listeners, and one's me and one's Trevor.
Yeah. Matthew and I do every year. He gets me 500 rounds of 9mm, and I get him 500 rounds of 9mm, and we just, here you go.
Where's our 9mm?
Get your own.
It's out of province.
Yeah,
All
out
right.
of province. Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah.
I just make it.
There you
I
go.
don't need Trevor's 9mm ammo.
He doesn't need my pity rounds.
I do. All right. Say good night, guys.
Good night, guys.
Right, guys.
So if you have any comments or questions for the show, please send an email to slamfireradio@gmail.com. Now go grab a gun and shoot something.
When the talking is over, it's time to get a gun.